7:45 business for breakfast on this Wednesday morning. We are very excited to welcome our next guest to the program. Guy that has a pretty big day coming up here, along with some of his business partners. Just to tell you, some of his business partners are good friends of mine, and I am excited to welcome Rudy Montijo. He is with Daytryp Health, and it is a new facility that's opening up on the 18th of February, so just a couple days. Rudy, what's up, bud?
Hey, Mark. Thanks for having us.
Hey, thanks for coming in. So we were just talking. We're from Tucson, or are from Tucson. Spent some time at the University of Arizona playing a little football, and now you find yourself here in the Valley. Your story's interesting, though, right? How you came in contact with Chris, who does a great job with recovery in the Valley and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I met Chris. Well, bear down first. And
there you go.
Met Chris about 10 years ago in 2013 when I actually was getting sober. I got sober at his old facility, Scottsdale Recovery Center.
Yeah. And
then a year after I got sober, went back and actually ran his establishment, expanded, did all that kind of stuff, and we've maintained a friendship ever since.
Yeah, he's helped so many people in the Valley, and it's really important.
It really has.
And I think his story is great, and obviously the fact that you were able to do what you needed to do to live your life, it's pretty amazing. Now, tell me about this next step, because this is a big next step for what you guys are doing, right, with Daytryp?
Yeah, it's a huge next step. It's the misconception of what psychedelics, and for the purpose of the conversation, we'll stick to ketamine.
Okay.
That's what's legal right now. Is that it's a recreational party, trippy drug. When the reality of it is, we're strictly mental health based, and we treat PTSD, anxiety. I spoke with a veteran yesterday who has just debilitating PTSD and can't even work, and so we help people who experience severe trauma to improve the quality of their life.
And that's what Daytryp Health is going to be all about. The grand opening is the Arcadia location. It's coming soon. Is it still February 18th?
It's actually moved to about mid-March.
Okay,
We're just
all right.
waiting on a parking lot to get paved.
Got it. All good. So it's coming. I at first saw February 18th, but now I read more. It's been pushed back. So you've gone and you've done more studies. You've got it accredited, right? You've done all these things in this space to be able to deliver what these patients are going to want, correct?
Me personally, or
just the group itself?
Yeah, so the group is it's sort of an East meets West group. We have a lot of spiritual people who believe in psychedelics and the properties to help people, but we combine that with a very, very sound medical staff. Aona Olson's nurse practitioner. She's been doing ketamine assisted therapy for years now. Our chief medical officer, Dr. Quinn Snyder, he's an ER doc, actually at Mayo Clinic and Banner, so very well respected in the field. And we combine that with a very holistic, sacred, ceremonial experience that's very conducive for healing.
You mentioned, maybe the misconceptions out there. This is not a party thing. This is not a, hey, we'll have a great trip, right? It's not about that. This is about like resetting a little bit. We've had Aona on, and she talked about the benefits of the ketamine and these psychedelics for people with all different, and it can be pain. It can be all kinds of issues that they have, right?
Right. The beauty about ketamine is it can have so many positive effects on different parts of the brain. It really depends on what you're actually suffering from. But we're very focused on mental health.
So Daytryp Health opens up in about a month. What would be the experience for a first-time patient that maybe is going through some of the things you've talked about? Like, you know what I mean? Are they going to walk in and be like, okay, what are we doing here? Like, how does it go down, I guess?
I think they're going to walk in, and the initial feeling will be a sense of peace.
Okay.
The environment that Esther has created, our project manager and interior designer and VP of operations, is very serene, very organic, very peaceful. And so you're going to walk in, and it's a very non-clinical, non-sterile, no white coats, nothing like that. So you're going to feel it's a little bit different.
Right.
And that calming is going to help hopefully open up some vulnerabilities so we can start the intake process and then move forward with a treatment in a session.
We're starting to hear more and more about this, right? We were joking. My producer's a Green Bay Packer fan, right?
Uh-huh.
So that quarterback guy, right? Aaron Rodgers. And he does. I don't know if he's doing this, but he does some other stuff, and goes into this kind of get his mind right and decide what he's going to do. But it's starting to become more and more, I guess, mainstream, right? We're talking about it a little bit, not like it's an everyday talk, but
Right.
It's coming up more than I ever remember it coming up.
It's more mainstream, and thank you to Aaron Rodgers for he did ayahuasca. He had that podcast about that, but it's really going inside and believing that we have the answers ourselves without seeking external validation or seeking answers from somebody else, and that getting the answers from our own thoughts and our own heart.
Now, at Daytryp, this is not ayahuasca, right?
No, it's not ayahuasca. No.
Okay, because that's done by like shamans. Right?
Yeah, that's done by shamans and typically out of the country.
Yeah, out of the country, exactly. Okay, so obviously this is exciting. Is this something that patients will be referred to you, from another doc? Like, how do they just find you on their own? And
they find us by a lot of it's word of mouth.
Okay.
Obviously, we have PR and SEO and all of that. We are building relationships with therapists, psychiatrists, so people that come in and their patient is asking about it, but they don't do it themselves. They can refer to us. So a lot of different sources.
Have you done it yourself?
I have done it, yes.
If you can put it into words, maybe that's not fair, but
it's extremely hard to articulate, but I'll try.
Okay.
It's an incredibly beautiful, amazing experience. And what it did for me was it really helped mitigate and dissolve some attachments that were causing me to be emotionally reactive, and really open up my heart and start looking at things through a different lens, a lens of more compassion, more gratitude, more empathy for somebody else who's hurting on their own path.
We are visiting with Rudy Montijo. He is going to be one of the partners of Daytryp Health, has a lot to do with what's going on. It's going to open up here in the next few weeks to a month or so in the Arcadia area, and this is taking assisted psychedelic wellness backed by medical professionals. And again, they're opening up their first, what I guess would maybe be of many. Is that kind of the plan, or are you just going for one right now?
The plan is to create the infrastructure and the plan expand. And then we're working with legislation to help legalize, psilocybin, MDMA, and then we'll have a footprint so we can treat using multiple modalities.
Is this a thing covered by insurance? I just asked that because I think that'd be a question you probably get.
Right. It's not covered. Ketamine's been legal and used since the 70s. It's used every single day. So the patent on that ran out a long time ago, and for that reason, insurance does not cover it.
Is it a one-stop, like, hey, come on in, do this, and okay, bye, you're good now? Or is this like you know what I'm saying? Is this something where it might take numerous?
It really depends on what the indication for. It's for like chronic or acute depression. There's a protocol of minimum around 6 sessions. And all of this is best used combined with psychotherapy or talk therapy. So typically a minimum of 3, and then after that, maybe a booster once a month, once a quarter, or as needed. If you have severe depression, you're going to want to come more often. It just really depends on what you're suffering from.
Is this event, when you go through the process, is this hours? Is it a half a day?
We're unique in a sense that we book out a 3-hour session.
Okay.
And we do that because we really want to give individualized care. People come in, we recheck their vitals medically, make sure they're sound. They go into a room. We honor them, the ketamine molecule, set their intentions. Eye mask goes on, headset. We monitor their heart rate. We monitor their oxygen level, and they go on their journey. We have a trip guide, someone who sits with them, who's trained to hold space for that person throughout the process. As they wake up and come to, not that they're ever asleep, but back into their body.
Right.
We bring them hot tea, fresh fruit, and let them just get out whatever they experience as far as verbally goes, and write that down for them.
Leave me with this. I got about 30 seconds.
Okay.
What would you say to a naysayer? Just like you're in an elevator, you tell them what you do, and they go, that's a bunch of hooey.
I would say, one, why do you think that? And then
Right.
2, just come into the space, read the data, read the studies, and talk to somebody who was in your shoes, who experienced it, and now has a different view.
And they might do it and have a different view themselves, and
100%.
maybe don't walk around with that
Absolutely.
anger or disgust.
Yep.
I like what you're doing, Rudy. This is great stuff. Before I let you go, tell me the best way for people to go to a website or social media to find out a little bit more.
Daytryp.com. If you have any questions, daytryp.com. Fill out the submission form. Usually I'll personally get back to you, and that's the best way.
And Daytryp is Daytryp, correct?
Correct. Daytryp with a Y.
Daytryp with the Y. Rudy Montijo, we appreciate your time. Thanks for coming down. I look forward to having you guys on more as you guys open up and get this thing going. I love what you're doing. I think it's an important space, and I know that you'll be helping a lot of people. So good luck with Daytryp Health. All right?
Thank you so much.
That's Rudy Montijo joining us on this Wednesday morning.